All right, this is Mr. Everly, and we're going to go over this math concepts packet. And this is dealing with linear equations, so it's not really that bad. I think you'll get in a groove, and you probably can get it done rather quickly, really. But some good stuff in this. We got linear equations, and this is the standard form right here. This is called the slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b, where x and y are your variables, but m right here, m is your slope, and b is your y-intercept. You have to have your slope and your y-intercept to have your equation. If you have those two things, just those two things, then you can make your equation a line. All right, well, if you look at this first paper here, some of these, like right here, look at number one. The slope is 2/3, the y-intercept is -7. You've got your two things. You've got your slope and your y-intercept. So it's going to be y equals your slope number, which it says is 2/3. So it's going to be y equals 2/3 x plus your b number, which here, your y-intercept, your b number, is -7. So since it's a -7, we'll just put -7. And there you go. That's your equation. That's your linear equation. You have to have those two things. You have to have the slope and you have to have the y-intercept. Now sometimes you don't have those two things. Like right here, we've got the slope is 3/5. So I know right here it's going to be y equals 3/5 x. But see, it doesn't tell us the y-intercept here. It gives us this extra point, 10/2. All right, so what we have to do here is we need to figure out what the y-intercept is. We don't know it. We know the slope, but we don't know the y-intercept. So what I'm going to do is y equals 3/5 x, and the y-intercept number, the b, I don't know. So I write it out like this. And then right here for x and y, I'm going to take this point and I'm going to put these values in for x and y. See, 10 is x and 2 is my y. So I'm going to put 2 right here for y. And I'm going to put 10 over here for x. Okay, so I get this little equation now. And now all I have to do is, right here, 3/5 times 10, I can multiply that. 3 divided by 5 times 10. Just punch in your calculator. So here you go, here's my calculator. 3 divided by 5 times 10. Well, I don't know if you can see that or not. There you go. 3 divided by 5 times 10 comes out to be 6. Look at that. So this right here is 6. So I've got 2 equals 6 plus b. What's b? Well, all I got to do is subtract 6. And I get -4. There you go. There's my y-intercept. So right over here, this is -4. Okay. So again, I know my 3/5 is the slope, so put y equals 3/5 x, but it's the y-intercept, the b, I don't know. So I take the point 10, 2, I put 10 for x, I put 2 for y, I multiply this, and then I subtract it, and there's my y-intercept right there, -4. Okay, here's another one like it right here. The slope is -2/3, and it goes to this point 6,5. I'm going to do it right here. So I know it's y equals 2/3, I'm sorry, -2/3 x, but the y-intercept I don't know again. Okay. So I'm going to take this point. 6 is my x, 5 is my y. I'm going to put 6 right here for x. I'm going to put 5 over here for y. And so it looks like this. Okay, and now I'll multiply this. So again, let me take my calculator here. All right, I'm going to do -2/3, -2 divided by 3, up, -2/3 times 6. That's -4. So this is -4 right here. So 5 equals, that's -4 right there, plus b. And now what is b? Well, I just add 4. And it looks like 9. b is 9. So it means over here, it's going to be y equals -2/3 x, and my b is plus 9. Okay? So sometimes you have your two things. You got to have the slope and the y-intercept. So here's my slope and y-intercept. I got both of them. So bam, bam, there's my equation. No work involved in that one. Sometimes you got the slope, but you got a point, so you need to figure out what the y-intercept is. So that's what we did here with these two problems. And then sometimes, like number 4 here, sometimes you just have 2 points. You don't have the slope or the y-intercept, neither one. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to do the slope formula. The slope formula is this right here. Slope equals y from point 2 minus y from point 1 divided by the x from point 2 minus the x from point 1. This is the slope formula. And you're going to have to do that to figure out the slope first. See, we've got these 2 points. All right. So my slope in this problem, the y in point 2, we'll see this, we'll just call this one point 1, we'll call this one point 2, and there's the y right there, 5. So it's going to be 5 minus the y in point 1. The y in point 2 is 5 minus the y in point 1, that's 4. Okay, over. Now the x in point 2, right there is 6. The x in point 2 minus the x in point 1. 6 minus 3. Okay, and now 5 minus 4 is 1 on top. 6 minus 3 is 3 on the bottom. Right, there's my slope. Okay, so now I've got the slope and I've got 2 points here. Now it's a problem like I had up here. I have the slope and a point. So I've got the slope and I got 2 points. I just got to pick one of them to use and do like I did a while ago. So I know it's y equals 1/3 x plus b. And so I'm going to do the same thing I just did a few minutes ago. All right. I'm going to take, let's see, do I want to do this one or this one? You can pick either one. I'm just going to take 3, 4. I'm going to put 3 in for x. I'm going to put 4 over here for y. So it looks like that. Okay, so right here I got this point 3, 4 I'm going to use. 3 goes for x, 4 goes for y. And now right here, I got to multiply these just like I did the other 2 problems a while ago. So 4 equals, all right, 1/3 times 3. Now you just use your calculator if you want to, all right? 1 divided by 3 times 3 comes out to be 1. 1 divided by 3 times 3 is 1. Plus b. So this is 1 plus b, and now I just subtract 1. And there you go, there's my y-intercept. So here's my slope, there's my y-intercept. That's the 2 things I have to have. So my equation, y equals 1/3 x plus 1. I'm sorry, 3. Ah, dummy. It's 3. 1/3 x plus 3. Okay, and that's how you do this, and that's what the rest of this whole packet is about. Now this is just finishing up, same kind of stuff. All right, and this paper here, it's all 2 points. You have 2 points. All right, so we'll do this one. Okay, so I got these 2 points. So I'm going to first have to do the slope formula. So here, I'll just write over here again. Slope is going to be y from point 2 minus y from point 1 over x from point 2 minus x from point 1. Uh-oh. Let me get down where you can see it. Okay. So that's the slope formula. Now we're going to do that with this. So the y in point 2 is 11. So my slope is going to be 11 minus the y in point 1. Well, that's 5. Over the x in point 2, well, that's 10. Minus the x in point 1, well, that's negative 5. Okay, so when I do this, 11 minus 5 is 6. 10 minus negative 5, that's 15. And then I think that's simplified. You want to simplify these if you can. And see, 3 goes into both of these. 3 goes into 6 2 times. 3 goes into 5 5 times. So there's my slope right there, 2/5. That's my slope. So there's my first thing. I got to have 2. I got to have the slope and I got to have the y-intercept. All right, so the y-intercept, we're going to do this. Y equals 2/5 x plus b. The 2/5 goes right there in front of the x. Now, what's the b? Well, I got to take one of my points here and put them in. And this time I'm going to pick this point here because I got a negative there. I'd just rather do positives if I can. So I'm going to put the 10 in for the x. And the 11 goes over here for the y. So that's how it looks. All right, so now 2/5 times 10. All right, let's get my calculator here. Okay, 2 divided by 5 times 10. 4. Okay, so this right here is 4. So 11 equals 4 plus b, and a minus 4. And that tells me b is 7. There you go. There's my y-intercept. This is my y-intercept. There's my slope, and I got the two things I have to have. So it means my equation, y equals 2/5 x plus 7. I'm about to sneeze. All right. Yep, I'm about to sneeze. I don't know what's going to come, but now we got some word problems here, but don't worry about doing these two because there's identical ones right here. So these two right here are identical to the ones on that previous page. I'm going to do one of these, okay, so you guys can see what we're doing. Okay, now, in 2008, there were 4,850 people living in Central City. In 2016, there's 5,018 people living in Central City. Find the population equation for Central City. Now, here's what you have. In 2008, there was 4,850 people in Central City. That's a point. In 2016, there's 5,018 people living in Central City. And I've got 2 points. It's just like this page here. It's actually just like this problem we just did a minute ago, where I have 2 points. It's just the numbers are bigger. Well, what's the equation for the population in Central City? We got to have the slope and the y-intercept. Those two things. We have to have the slope and the y-intercept. So my slope formula, I'm going to write up here. Again, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we'll just call this one here 0.1. We'll call this one here 0.2. So the y in 0.2, 5,018 minus the y in 0.1. The y in 0.1 over here is 4,850. Okay, now the x in 0.2, well, that's 2016. The x in 0.1, that's 2008. Okay, now let's get our calculator here. 5,018 minus 4,850. 168 over 2016 minus 2008. 8. And then simplify this if you can. Now all you do is just you go 168 divided by 8 and see if it simplifies. And this is a perfect 21. So there you go. That's my slope. 21. Okay. So that means now right here, y equals 21x. But it's the y-intercept I don't know. So I'm going to have to take one of my points and put that in for x and y to figure out what the y-intercept is. You have to have two things. You have to have the slope. You have to have the y-intercept. We've got the slope. Now I've got to find the y-intercept. So I'm going to take one of these and put them in. I'll just do the 2008. 2008 is my x. 4,850 is my y. Okay, now let's take this right here. I got to do 21 times 2008. Oh my goodness, big number. So that's 42,168 plus b. Okay, now I got a minus 42,168. That'll go away, and b is going to equal, all right, let's do this now, 4,850 minus 42,168. What does that come up to? negative 37, 318. And there's my b. So there's my slope and there's my y-intercept. So my equation there, y equals 21x minus 37, 318. And that's my population equation for Central City. Okay? Now, I can use my population equation to figure out the answers to these. It says find the population of Central City for the year 2025. See, if you look at the x's and the y's, the x number is my year. See there? That's my year. That's my year. So here, that's my year. I'm going to put that in for x right here. So all I do is just get my calculator. This is real simple. Okay, let's move this up just a little bit. Here, I'll put it over here. All right, so I'm going to do 21 times 2025 minus 37,318. What does that come up to? 5207. That's what the population will be in 2025. What will it be in 2040? Well, I put that in for x. All right, here you go. All right, 21 times 2040 minus the 37,318. And look at that, 5522. What's the population for Central City in 2050? All right, I'm just going to put that in for x, okay? So 21 times 2050 minus the 37,318. And look at that, 5732. And that's how we project what population is going to be in the future, just by doing a linear equation like this. Okay, so there's one on here for Greenville, and here's one for Russellville. You do the same exact thing. Okay? So you work on this, and if you have any trouble, you yell at me. Now, as we go on, the last these papers are all similar. They've got these same little tables here that we have to use. Okay, I'm going to do this. This one right here has hamburger profit. There's two of them that have hamburger profit. All right, I'll do the first one, and then you guys can have that one to go by to do the other ones. But if you look here, we've got hamburgers sold, and we got a profit. And see these numbers here? They go together. Okay. It says express profit as linear equation of hamburgers sold. All right, so all we're going to do is we're going to take these. These are just points. See, this is 60, 32. This is 90, 77. And this is 120, 122. There's 3 points here. So we just have to find the linear equation just like we've been doing on this paper. Just like we did on this paper in the previous ones, we're doing the same exact thing. So you just have to pick 2 of these points. Well, I'm just going to pick these 2 lower ones, the first ones. You could pick whichever 2 points you want to. But I'm going to take those 2 points, and I got to find the slope. Now remember, here's the slope. Y from 0.2 minus y from 0.1 over x from 0.2 minus x from 0.1. So since this one's first, we'll call that one 0.1. We'll call this one 0.2. Okay, so I'm going to do the y in 0.2, which is 77, minus the y in 0.1, which is 32, over the x in 0.2, which is 90, minus the x in 0.1, which is 60. Okay, now get this in here. We'll do 77 minus 32, and that is 45. And then I'm going to do 90 minus 60. All right, that's 90 minus 60 should be 30, but I'm punching it in so you guys can see and do it. Okay, and now 45 divided by 30. Okay, it's a decimal. And we can just leave it that way if you want to. 1.5. There's my slope. Okay. Now, what's the y-intercept? I'm going to have to do this. Y equals 1.5 times x plus b. I got to figure out the b now, the y-intercept. So I just got to take one of my 2 points. So let's take 60, 32. Let's put 60 for x. Let's put 32 over here for y. Okay. All right, now I got to do 1.5 times 60. I believe that's 90, but we'll see here. 1.5 times 60. And I was right, it's 90. So 32 equals 90 plus b. All right, now minus 90. And that's 58, negative 58. That's my b right there. So there's my y-intercept. There's my slope, there's my y-intercept. That's the two things I need. So y equals 1.5x minus 58. And that's my equation for the hamburgers. So I didn't really say this, but you sell 60 hamburgers, you make $32. You sell 90 hamburgers, you make $77. You sell 120 hamburgers, you make $122. All right, now, how much profit would you make if you only sold 20? Well, obviously, if you only sell 20, you're going to make less than 32, aren't you? So all I do is I put 20 in there. See, X is my hamburgers. Y is my profit. So that's my hamburgers. I put that in for X. So let's just put 20 in. So let's do this right here. 1.5 times 20, and then minus 58. Ooh, negative 28. What does that mean? It means you're going to lose $28. If you only make 20 hamburgers, you're going to lose money. You know? What about if you make 100 hamburgers? How much money will you make? All right, that's my X again. So I'm going to put that in for X. So let's do this again. 1.5 times 100 minus 58. And check it out there. You're going to make $92. Yes. I should put a dollar sign on that. What about 4? How much profit will you make if you sell 200 hamburgers? So let's do, I tell you what, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to go right in here and just put a 2 right there. How about that, huh? $242. Now you might think, well, hey, if I sell 100, I make 92, but if I sell 200, I make 242, I make more money. That's how business works. Because see, you have what's called profit. You have cost, variable cost, you have a fixed cost. And a fixed cost is a cost that you have to pay no matter what, whether you sell a hamburger or not, like your rent or something. So that's why it's like this. Now, if you get to number 5 here, how many hamburgers must be made to make a profit of $100? Now you see, you make $92 if you sell 100 hamburgers. How many hamburgers must you make to make a whole $100? All right, this is my profit, which means I'm going to have to put that right there for the Y. See, that's Y is my profit. So I need to put 100 right here. All right, let me get another piece of paper so I can write this down here. So that means I want a profit of $100. So that means I'm going to put $100 right there for Y. All right, so this is a little different. I want a profit of $100, so now I've got to solve this, which means I'm going to have to add $58. And that goes away. And so that's going to be 42 equals 1.5x. And now I got to divide by 1.5. And then x would equal, all right, now let's do 42. Here, get this. 42 divided by 1.5. And it looks like 28. Okay, so that's not right, is it? Oh, well, here's why. I screwed up. Why didn't you tell me I messed up? I added 58, but I subtracted. So let's do this over. What a dummy. That should be 158. I subtracted in my head and didn't catch it. So let's do this again. 100 plus 58 is 158. All right, so let's go back here. 158 divided by 1.5. That's 105.33. So you can't make 105.33, so you had to do 106. So 106 hamburgers. Okay. Same thing here. What if you want a profit of $200? All right. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to put $200 right here. And I'm going to solve this. I'm going to add 58. That's 258 equals 1.5x. Then I'm going to divide by 1.5. And so I do 258 divided by 1.5. And that's going to be 172. So this is 172 hamburgers. And then you'll do 400 the same way. So you try that one, okay? I'm going to have to close up the videos already longer than I meant it to be. Anyway, if you need more help, just text me and I'll help you any way I can. All right? And let me know, okay? Once you guys get this done and get it turned in. And we're getting close to the end of the year. So I'll see you guys, and y'all have a good day.